Hi, I'm Toni Davison Levenberg. I'm the director of the Stephen Shari Sadek Family Camp Interlaken JCC, and I'm here today to talk with you about Parsha Ki Tisa. I really love this Parsha. It is so familiar and so relevant in so many ways. It's probably one of the most popular stories in the Torah, and I hope it will be very familiar to you as I talk more about it. But first I want to talk about Camp Interlaken. At camp, I promise parents that I'm going to send home their children to them at the end of the summer, better versions of themselves. And one of the ways that we work to try and accomplish this is by teaching and sharing 4 core Jewish values that we have at camp. One is Kehillah, which means community. B'Tselem Elohim talks about how we are all created in God's image. Tikkun Olam talks about repairing the world. And Eretz Yisrael talks about a love for the land of Israel. And I think that this week's Parsha really has elements of each one of our core Jewish values at camp. Actually, it's a shame for me that this Parsha doesn't happen during the summer, so we could use it as a great Jewish teachable moment. But what I want to talk about is B'Tselem Elohim. I think that when you're teaching children, that is the hardest one to convey. We're talking about what it means to be created in God's image. What are those values? What is God's image? And I think that one of the things that we have the hardest time teaching, and probably the hardest time doing ourselves, is teaching the skill and act of patience. So when a child is waiting for a parent to come home, it can feel really, really, really long. Or when you're waiting in a really, really long line, it can take forever. When you're sitting in traffic, believe me, I lose my patience plenty in traffic. And so I think that patience is something that is really evident in this Parsha, and I want to tell you a little bit how. So in here, the children of Israel, they're waiting 40 days and 40 nights for Moses. He's gone up the mountain with the tablets, and they're really anxious for Moses to return to them. They're so scared that he is not returning, that they don't have a leader, and that they don't have anyone to take them to the promised land. So they build themselves an idol, a golden calf. And they are hoping that this golden calf will accompany them to the desert. They bring it sacrifices, they pray to it, and this is their answer. As Moses descends from Mount Sinai, he witnesses the people worshiping the golden calf, and he's so mad. And he thinks, why couldn't you just wait for me? And he hurls the 10 commandments, these amazing new tablets that God has just inscribed, to the ground, and they shatter. I don't know, I think Moses needs to learn a little bit of patience there. And I also think that the children of Israel needed to be a little bit patient too. Luckily, Moses was able to convince God to forgive them and to join them to continue on to the land of Israel. But I think for adults, it's really a huge skill. There's a lot of self-control. It's acquired. And I'm thinking, how do we teach our children how to be patient? I think the best way to teach our children how to be patient is to role model patience. And after thinking about what I was going to talk about today and reading through this Parsha again, that's what I'm going to focus on. As a mom, that's what I'm going to focus on. As a wife, as a director of a business, as a camp director with my staff, with my campers, I'm going to role model patience. And I am going to hope that it trickles down and that it is something that everybody else at camp picks up. And I hope that our campers come home at the end of the summer with a little bit more patience as a part of one of the things that makes them a better version of themselves. I also hope that that it trickles down to my 2-year-old, because how great would that be for a 2-year-old to have a little bit of patience. So on that note, I encourage you and hope that I've inspired you to exercise patience over this Shabbat, and I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.